All right. Hey, music producers and sound designers, welcome back to the stream. Today, we're going to be diving into Reaktor and sound design within Ableton, and we're going to use Reaktor to create our first modular oscillator and synth. So, sit tight and buckle in. I'm going to show you how to do that all from scratch, and that's going to be our session for today. So, I'm going to start off. Welcome back to the stream. And we're going to be building a brand new instrument. This is Ableton Live, of course, but we have Reaktor installed as a plugin, and we're using it as a plugin inside Ableton. And we're going to show you how to first create your first synth, build your first synth, oscillator, and MIDI control within Reaktor. So by the end of this session, we'll have a working oscillator that responds to your MIDI notes. This is the foundation of any synth, and I encourage you to follow along. If you have Reaktor installed in your system or your computer, follow along. And basically, we're going to start off with creating an instrument. So we're going to go in. I've already created the instrument that we need. It's an instrument container. We're going in and we're creating an instrument container to hold our oscillators. So this is the instrument container, and we connected it to our outputs. So we connected our instrument container. It says instrument right on the front of it. And think of this as a container, as we talked about in previous episodes. This is a container that you build things inside of, or basically all the wiring goes inside of this container. And every Reaktor sound, every sound that we create lives inside an instrument. And this is where we'll add our oscillators, envelopes, filters, and controls. And inside the instrument, when we click inside of it, we've already added them. So I've went in and I've added a sine wave, a sawtooth, a triangle, and a pulse wave. That's all these are. They're just modules. No need to worry about going any deeper than that with them. But these are modules that we use to build out an actual synthesizer. So once that's done, only thing we need to do is connect it to a switch. And what a switch does, a switch allows you to switch, literally allows you to switch from sine, saw, triangle, and pulse. And lastly, we have it connected to an audio voice combiner, so we can play more than one voice at a time. And it mixes, of course, your polyphonic audio to mono. So there's many polyphonic signals coming through here, and it sends it out as a mono signal to your left and right speakers. And right here, I have the switch. I did change it over to a list so we could see exactly what we're working with. So we have a sine wave, we have a saw wave, we have a triangle wave, and you can see as I switch them, look at this yellow little note. That shows you that which one is active right at that moment. So you see I chose a pulse wave, and that's active right there. So you have a sine, we're changing to a sine, saw, triangle. You can see this yellow marker here moves. But the one problem we have, and one intentional problem, of course, we don't have any pitch or gate information. We can't play notes on our keyboard and hear anything come out. So we need to go in and get two modules. We need to go into our library, and we need pitch control and we need gate control. So how we're going to do that, we're going to add a note pitch, and we're going to add a gate. So I'm going to search for that. MIDI in, because we're sending MIDI in, we need no pitch. So that's how we send MIDI into our instrument. So we send MIDI into our pitch of all of the instruments we have. And we also need gate information. So when we hit a key, the on-off switch, basically. So when I hit a key underneath me on my keyboard and I let go, it says send a signal at that point in time. So I'm going to go to my panel, and I'm going to add a gate control. So you can see when you highlight it, it's a source for MIDI note on and off events, switching the status of the gate output signal. The amplitude is controlled by the on velocity, and the note pitch is source for MIDI on events, MIDI note on events. So the output range is suitable to control basically the inputs of our synthesizer. So this tells us that we have a note pitch, and this tells us the on-off point when we hit a key on our keyboard. So now for the exciting part, we should be able to hear something. When I hit a key on my keyboard, we do hear something coming out, and we're now hearing a pulse wave. So I'm going to switch to a sine. You can hear a pure sine wave. So now we got a pure sine. We can change to the saw. We got a sine wave there. Okay, and then we're going to change to triangle. You can hear the difference. And then finally, we've got a pulse wave. And that's the one we started with. So congratulations on building your first synth in just a few minutes in Reaktor, Oscillator, and MIDI control to control it. So that's the basics of building out the synth. I didn't want to go too deep. I just wanted to give you the basics so we could get started on learning how to do this. So we've connected our pitch control to our pitch inputs of each oscillator. Each one of these is an oscillator. So I could just do I could erase all of these ones here, and we could have just one oscillator going into our audio voice combiners, and we'd call it a day. But because we're switching between them, we want the ability to switch between them. We've added this switch right here, literally a switch, so we can switch between them, as in which one is going to be active at the time of playing and which one's not. So when I switch to a sine, we see that it's active. So now when I apply note and gate information, it's sent straight to our audio voice combiners. And that's how it basically works. So our gate is our ADSR input, and our pitch sends information. So pitch comes from the keys. The gate starts the envelope, and the envelope controls the loudness of the oscillator. So we don't have an envelope in this case, but we have gate, which opens the envelope. But we can also control it more fine-tuned with the ADSR control. But that's for another episode. But this is the basics of how to build that out. And now it's working. So to summarize, in just a few minutes, we created a brand new instrument, added an oscillator, and made it respond to MIDI with an envelope. This is the foundation of every subtractive synth in Reaktor. And if you want to expand with filters, LFOs, and effects in the next stream, drop a comment, let me know. And yeah, so just to recap, we did our intro setup, we created our instrument, we added oscillators, we added MIDI control, and we tested our sound out. So yeah, I'll see you in the next live stream. Keep sound designing. Don't forget the links in the description to join the modular deep dive sound design class or sessions. And I'll see you in the next live stream. Peace out and keep sound designing.